The American government is undergoing a striking transformation. At the center of this shift are two prominent figures, Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Together, they're pushing for major changes to the country's federal system, ideas that are sparking both enthusiasm and resistance. Musk, a private sector heavyweight, has been vocal about inefficiencies in government agencies, arguing on X in late January 2025 that bloated bureaucracies waste taxpayer money and suggesting some, like the Department of Education, should be dismantled. Trump, meanwhile, has long criticized the federal bureaucracy. Think of it as the vast network of offices managing everything from healthcare to defense, and is now taking steps to turn his vision into reality. In Congress, the U.S. legislative body where Republicans, the more conservative of America's two major parties, hold a slim majority following the 2024 midterms, there's been no clear opposition yet. But surprisingly, the strongest pushback is coming from within the FBI, America's top federal law enforcement agency. Just a few weeks ago on February 3rd, 2025, Brian Driscoll, the acting head of the FBI, made headlines. The FBI, short for Federal Bureau of Investigation, is tasked with tackling major crimes like terrorism, organized crime, and cyber attacks, and protecting national security. Driscoll refused a demand from the Department of Justice, the government branch overseeing legal matters, to reveal the names of agents involved in investigations tied to January 6, 2021. For those unfamiliar, January 6th was when a mob stormed the U.S. Capitol, the heart of American democracy, protesting Trump's 2020 election loss, an event that left 5 dead, hundreds injured, and shocked the world. According to the New York Times, on February 7th, James Dennehy, a senior agent in the FBI's New York office, one of 56 field offices nationwide, sent an email to his team warning that the agency is facing an internal struggle. He vowed to stay in his role, telling his staff, "Now is the time to act." These moves have deepened tensions between the FBI and the Department of Justice, now led by acting Attorney General Emil Bove, who accused Driscoll and his deputy Robert Kissane of defiance in a February 10th statement. Bove claims a broader review is underway to identify who's worked on these high-profile cases, a process sources say began February 12th per a CNN report. This unrest inside the FBI isn't going unnoticed. Chris O'Leary, a former agent with 21 years in the agency's counterterrorism unit until his 2024 retirement, praises Driscoll and Dennehy as principled leaders in a February 14th interview with NPR. He points to Dennehy's background in the U.S. Marines, a military branch known for discipline, as key to his steady guidance during this crisis. That defiance is trickling down. FBI staff tied to January 6th and another case involving classified documents at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, his Florida resort where files were seized in 2022, have filed lawsuits against the Department of Justice. Court records from February 17th show 2 separate cases, now involving over 250 agents resisting orders to disclose their roles, an unprecedented pushback, legal experts say. Pamela Keith, a lawyer representing these FBI employees, warns of the risks in a February 18th press conference. If you compile data on what agents have done, she says, it could be misused, hacked, or shared with hostile groups. She ties this fear to Trump's campaign rhetoric of retaliation and revenge, phrases he repeated at rallies in October 2024, clips of which went viral on X. Trump's rocky history with the FBI dates back to 2016, when then-director James Comey, a polarizing figure, oversaw a probe into Hillary Clinton's emails that indirectly aided Trump's election win against her. But later investigations, like one into Russian election interference in 2016 and the January 6th chaos, fueled his distrust. Since returning to the White House, Trump has acted on that frustration, firing prosecutors linked to a case about secret documents he allegedly kept at Mar-a-Lago after leaving office in 2021. Reuters reported on February 9th that 5 career attorneys were axed within days of his January 20th inauguration. Now, the Department of Justice under Emil Bove seems to be widening its scope. Reports from the Washington Post on February 15th suggest they're compiling a list of around 6,000 FBI staff involved in Trump-related cases, a figure drawn from internal memos leaked to the press. Here's the twist. Bove himself once worked on January 6th investigations as a prosecutor in New York's Southern District from 2021 to 2023, a detail Vanity Fair confirmed on February 19th. An irony that highlights the tangled dynamics at play. Some speculate Bove's shift aligns with Trump's agenda, though he stayed silent on his motives. This clash raises bigger questions about U.S. national security. A mass exodus of FBI staff, whether through firings or resignations, could weaken investigations into threats like drug trafficking or espionage, and even give rivals like China or Russia a chance to recruit disgruntled agents. A February 2025 report from the RAND Corporation warned that losing just 10% of the FBI's 35,000-strong workforce could cripple long-term operations. The lawsuits from FBI employees reflect both self-preservation and a broader concern for public duty. Daniel Richman, a law professor at Columbia University and former prosecutor, told PBS on February 16th, "The FBI isn't an agency that backs down easily. Many agents and lawyers join because they hate injustice, and they won't run when it's challenged." What makes this saga even more intriguing is the FBI's culture. Its staff often lean conservative, valuing law and order. Think supporters of strict policing and traditional governance. Yet now, they're grappling with internal upheaval, not over ideology, but practical worries. Some agents, nearing 20 years of service this week, are set to earn retirement benefits under federal rules that kick in at that milestone, offering pensions worth up to 50% of their salary. A February 20th Associated Press story noted dozens fear being pushed out early as job cuts loom. Michael Corton, a former FBI communications chief who left in 2018, told Axios on February 19th, "This isn't political for them, it's about their jobs. They just want to stop the chaos." Driscoll and Dennehy's stance may aim to be neutral, but in today's charged climate, it's hard to stay above the fray. Musk has doubled down, tweeting on February 21st, "Gov inefficiency is a virus. Time to disinfect." His unofficial Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, co-led with Trump ally Vivek Ramaswamy, has reportedly drafted plans to slash $2 trillion in federal spending, per a Bloomberg scoop on February 13th. Chris O'Leary frames it as a moral choice in his NPR chat. As a nation, what do we stand for? Disorder or civic responsibility? The FBI's defiance could mark a turning point, both a fight to preserve its identity and a signal of deeper shifts in how America governs itself. As this unfolds, the world watches a superpower wrestling with its own systems, and what comes next could redefine its future, from global trade to security alliances.